Alright, so we are now in the shop. These heads are cleaned up. This is the new head. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take these bolts out of these stripper plates and put these nylon pieces on. The head that we started off with new at the beginning of this first cutting season here, they weren't able to sell that one to us because that went to a head, or went to a chopper that they had for sale. Serial numbers had to match from the head to the chopper and so on, so we had to get this one. We ended up putting these pieces on our old head, and what these pieces are going to do is they are going to protect the heads of these bolts. These are M8 bolts with a 13 millimeter head on them, and then what happens is the hay wears the head of the bolt off. It rounds it off enough to where you can't get a socket on there. The idea is these pieces here are going to protect the bolts. The only problem with it is they aren't really going to allow you to quickly change these stripper plates, but I'd rather be able to get the head of the bolt off with a socket rather than dick around with having to cut one with a grinder or what have you when we're out in the field. Now we'll show you what we ordered for the old head once we get that in here, but we basically ordered these pieces here because they're all wore on our old head, and then we ended up ordering this ridge that goes on the auger itself here. So this is in one, looks like one continuous piece, which I remember that from the other head when that was new. And then when the pieces came, they came in segments. So I told Seidenstricker I wanted just 3 sections to go on each side because the last third on each side didn't need to be done, but they sell it in a complete kit. They're segmented. Actually, this one might be segmented, but I don't think so. I think from the factory they're all, I don't know, all one piece, but the joint is here at the bolt head. So that's where they join it, and then it's easier for shipping for them guys for parts if they have it in pieces. So we'll get this worked through, and then we'll pull that other head in place. Sarge is working on brakes on this trailer, and Jared's next door here working on the C5, just trying to get this thing buttoned up from when the drive shaft universal joint went, wound up, hoses, wires. He's working up along each side of the transmission. He ended up dropping the tranny out here the other day. That's sitting here on the floor. Got a new clutch that we're going to be going in with here shortly, and these guys are flipping rubber over on the vac truck here. So that's what's going on. All right. When this got wound up, ended up ripping this bracket here off from underneath the cab. Jared's got a new one of them coming, and then all these hoses will have to be swapped out of it, and we would like to paint this frame as well. So yeah.
What the fuck up?
Well, this is what we're up to here. We had to pull a couple of these stripper plates off because I had a bunch of orchard grass. Wound it around the tooth bar on this one end, and I had some in the middle. Now, if you recall, when we rebuilt that other head, the other head, the new bearing had a grease zerk in the middle. So we ended up drilling a hole in the stripper plate so that we could get a grease gun in there. Now, they say not to only grease this seasonally. So in this main stripper plate that goes in the middle, there's not a hole in this. So anybody that's running a 349 head or a 359, no, what the heck are the numbers on these heads? 649 or a 659 head, pull your stripper plate off and annually grease that grease zerk. So I have to put this on there, get a Sharpie out, mark that in the center, drill a hole so that we don't have to take this off. We'll grease it now, and then we might put a pump or two in it when we start the season. But they do say to grease that minimally. So we'll get that done, and we'll start putting our nylon pieces in there. We'll show you what this looks like once we drill it. Hopefully I drill it in the spot it needs to be drilled in. Uh-oh, you need what?
Your professional opinion.
Oh, stop it,
Did the camera get that? Or?
Yeah, it did. I'm all flattered now.
You gonna do that to all of them?
Yeah, gotta drill all of them. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, it's got a grease zerk there, but they don't want you greasing it too much, so they don't drill it. So, all right. Perfect. Now, this top one, I gotta look it up. This one should have a nylon piece that goes on there as well. There's what the other ones do, but there isn't one, so we'll have to look that up. All right, basically the same thing all the way down through. So. Alright, so we've got some of these little nylon strips on there. I had one bent tooth, so I said, you know what? Let's go ahead and replace that. On these teeth, on this head. Now this is the same head as our other one, but they've got a different clip that goes down inside the tooth here. So that is a little different than what we're used to having on there, and I kind of forget now as if all that the other one had is just a bolt and a washer. I think maybe I had a clip, but this is different for sure. So we'll swap out that tooth, and I'll have to look at the other head to see if that, I forget what that is actually now. So yeah. Alright, so we have this head all done. I've got this crop sheet back down, but you look down in there, all of those nylon pieces are on there. I had to put this crop sheet down to grease it, and I realized that it might not be too easy for you guys to see it, but there's 54 of those nylon pieces that go on the stripper plate. They call them crop guides, and they didn't put them on till the later heads. So when I seen it on that one new one that we used, I thought that was a good idea. Put them on our other one, and then we put them on this one here. So now we're going to take this head outside and bring the other one in and go through that. I do have some pickup head teeth that I need to put on that one, and we'll go through and get it serviced up and just get it ready for next year. Now on our other head, this right hand side, this pivots, these wheels end up going out to the side when you're chopping, so that you can put this crop sheet right down on the windrow. When you transport down the road, you close it up like this. That right hand side on that other head, last year it was seized up in this pin. So we ended up, I think we actually had to cut it out this year and get a new pin for it. But it was seized up a couple years ago, and then it was seized up again, and then this one did the same damn thing. It was hard to move, and had it went throughout the winter like that, I think it would have been seized up. I think it would have been seized up coming into next year. So we took a little bit of time to get that lubed up and greased properly. So let's go ahead and get the other head in here. I'm kind of curious as to the hold down for the teeth. I don't remember what that other head was like. I think they updated the little washer plate that goes in the spring tooth, so we'll see what that looks like. Alright, so as you can see, it's a little dark in here. We're working under candlelight because they're switching the power over, and we're only running one generator, and they're only going to be a little while. So we're working on replacing a couple of these teeth. Now, I had spoke earlier, it was actually in yesterday's video, that on the new head they used like a little J washer that fit inside the tooth. And I said, boy, that all we have on the other one is just washers. And that's just what these have. They have just a large washer that goes in on the center part of the tooth. So I ordered some of those J-style updated units that go in there, so that when we change these out, we can change over to that style clip that holds the tooth in there. So we had a couple of teeth to put on the center row. Got this one here, and there's one more that's bent. It's right there on this middle section, or this left-hand section here. So we'll swap that out and And that'll about do it for teeth on the head. And then we've got these wear strips here that we're going to go ahead and replace too, but I don't think I'll see those for a day or two here. So, and another thing that we are going to replace is these panels here, this one, the center one, and this outside one, and there's some pieces across the back of the head too. So we'll get this thing buttoned up here. Well, we've got some parts delivered for this head, but not a lot of them. Here are the new pieces that are going to go on the plating of the auger. And then we've got some of the throat plates. Only a couple of them. We lack quite a bit more. We've got there's a straight piece that goes across the back, and I don't know if this is the left one or the right one. And this is one of the sides here, and then we lack, I don't know, 4 or 5 more. We've got the spiral band and some shims to go along with that. I was planning on getting the head done and then pull it outside, dump the head off. That'll give us a little more room to work in here. But Sarge is working on the Western Star. He replaced the lock cylinder. He had a valve that was leaking for the power divider. So he replaced that. That was leaking, and it was leaking oil up into the cab, bringing it through one of the switches, dumping it down onto the floor. So that had made a mess. We'll show you what these guys are doing over next door here. They are stripping this tractor down. Do you even know what you're doing? No, you don't, do you?
Taking it apart.
So this had an oil pump that went bad, and it's got some parts that are scored in it. What are you swapping out on this?
Rebuild.
How much of a rebuild? Just a simple one though. You ain't gotta send the head out or anything like that, right?
No.
So
Sharpie, Davey?
that's what's going on with this. They're just about ready to yeah, they're just about ready to lift this off. The rebuild kit for it showed up today, and that is in this box here. So we're going to get working on this head, and yeah, get after it here. So what we have is these little strips are bolted in, and we'll show you how much they're wore. I only wanted to replace half of it because this side, we get over into this section here, they're pretty good. But you cannot buy this in pieces. You have to buy this whole kit. So I don't know how many pieces there are here, but I don't know. I thought I only needed half of them, but I don't know. We'll probably put them all on and then save half the good ones. Like from here to maybe about here. So where it gets towards the center, it's really got the bolts wore out, and it's wore right down into the flight of the auger itself. So we'll get these on there and then we'll show you how much more that raises the flight of the auger up. Alright, so all of those stripper pieces are removed, and here is an end one. You can kind of see the difference in how much material is wore off of it. This is quite rounded. We don't have a square edge anymore. However, we do have a fair amount of these that were on the end that are decent. There's a good one, good one here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in each direction and save half of them. Half in one direction and half in the other direction. Save those, and then when we wear this out again, we can just replace the ones that are on the closest portion towards the center of the head. Well, we're getting these bolted on there. They go on in segments like seen before, and there's left-handed and right-handed. There's stamped right in the part itself. This one says RH2, so what this one is a middle one. The ones are the one end, and the 3 will be the other. This one here should be a left hand 2. So we'll get these on there and get the bolts all tight, and then the strippers will be done, or the flighting will be done. They've got the crane to the truck stuffed through the door, and they're getting ready to lift this engine out. Last time Jared did this engine, he had to take it out with a telehandler, and the boom of the telehandler was right up into the ceiling by the time he got the engine out. So what's nice about this here is he'll have 5 or 6 foot of lift, and the crane is up into the roof there. We broke enough glass for this winter. We can't break any more glass.
Alright, these things have a tendency to twist side to side, and it'll break this fan here.
So it's going to be stuck to the engine, stuck to the tractor for a second. He's getting some pressure on there, Davey, so watch it. Maybe get a bar, Jared, and just break it loose. Where's that bar of mine? Got to go back a little bit.
So just make
Loo-
this one looser.
Well, no, I can get way more out
Yeah, that might work like that.
of this.
Where your hands?
That's perfect, I think. There you go.
You're off a little. it back one. They're not stuck. They're all stuck. Especially this one. Watch your finger. No, it's still too far. How many did you go?
Can you cinch up? Hold up, leave that one there. Cinch up the front one.
You can. The front one's cinched up.
No, can't you just move this front one down?
That good?
That looks decent.
They don't get stuck because they have metal gasket.
Hold up a second, what's going on there? Is it getting caught in the back? Well, yeah, it was caught slightly.
Well, I've also got the winch on the lowest speed, so.
That's all right. Yeah, I think it's tightening the cable on the winch.
All right, I'm gonna move it in, so it's gonna go.
I just don't want to break it.
No.
All right, as he moves it in, it's gonna come down at the same time. All right, Jared, you gotta go up. You gotta go up.
You got- how many minutes is there?
Oil pump. Oil pump, Jared.
I'm learning the controls. Like a new video. We need to do that. I'm gonna go off.
I would go up Jared, go up as high as he can reach. And then you haven't got to go up again for a while. All right, that's pretty good. Keep a hand on it, Travis.
Huh?
He's going to bring it in and it's going to come down and it's going to piss on you at the same time.
You know, it's all right.
All right. So, they've got that out of there. That's one way to change the oil. Dip that out with Dixie cups. Boy, that's better than the telehandler, ain't it?
4 bolt goes in the front, 2 bolt goes in the back. We didn't like that.
Are you all the way out? You might be all the way out.
They're in
M16s.
They're in there.
Alright, so they've got this out. They'll get his engine stands on it. And
Just turn it upside down and it'll fall out. You're 15. You kind of got to spread them a little bit.
they'll get that on there, and then it will be able to sit on its own. All right. Alright, so they've got the engine sitting on the stand that Jared built here a couple years ago. And what they're going to do now is just pull this outside, put it across the road so that it's not eating up shop space here. That's good. That's good. All right, so this is where we are going to sign off from this video. We need some more parts to finish the head, but we've got these wear ridges all on the auger, all the way across. And what we have left, or what we're going to save, is 5 pieces. 5 lefts, 5 rights. The only thing we don't have is we don't have the starter. The start is a little longer and it's straight, but we could cut one of these off and weld it together and do it that way. But we're going to save these for when it does it the next time. I mean, we could put an end one. Well, the end one ain't gonna work because that's the other side. So we would have to split this one, cut this one as well, so it would line up something like that. But we'll figure it out. We'll cross that road when we get there. So that is going to do it for this video. We've got some other parts that we're waiting for, and then that'll finish the head. And then we've got that spiral band to put in, and Chad, the neighbor, is going to come. He's actually going to put the window in the chopper tomorrow. So take it easy, folks. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you at the next one.